On today's episode of Travel Pause RV, it is finally time to install the diesel heater, y'all. We are putting it right there. For anybody who likes to camp in cooler climates, this video is for you. Stick around. And make sure you stick around to the end for the blooper roll. Hey y'all, thanks for checking out Travel Pause RV. If this is your first time here, my name is David, and I am a new part-time solo RVer. Come on along with myself and my traveling companions, Rupert and May, as I learn the RV lifestyle, share tips and tricks along the way, adventure, and most importantly, get out there and live life now. Here's all the parts that we're going to be installing today. We've got the actual diesel heater, big old exhaust pipe that's going to come out from underneath the camper and go back that way. We've got the muffler, this is the air intake, this is the controller that'll be mounted inside of the camper. It also has a thermostat on it. Fuel pump, which will go underneath the camper as well. Various clamps and hoses and so on and so forth. Wiring harness. And for right now, this is an AC to DC converter because I don't have a way to wire this into 12 volt. This is a 12 volt appliance. So for right now, we're going to use that until I can figure out how I'm going to wire it into the 12 volt. So here's what we're thinking, y'all. This is upside down right now. That's the mounting plate that goes down onto the floor. But we're thinking about mounting it here up against this wall and then have it vent out somewhere over here, kind of in this direction. I really wanted to tap it into the existing heat ducts, but they're all the way back in the corner back there, and that's really hard to get to. So we're going to go ahead and install it here, have it vent out, and then I do run a fan to help circulate the heat all around. So hopefully that will work. For reference on where we're actually installing this heater, we are on the entrance side of the camper, or the passenger side, and it's being installed right behind that wheel, which is right next to the dinette. OMG, everyone! We're about to do something that every RVer is totally afraid of. We're about to drill a hole in crash. We got the big guy out, because we are about to drill a hole. Right here is where we're going to go. The decking for the floor in the living room, which should be just plywood. We have a good amount of space between the I-beam and the underbelly of the camper and the skirting here. So cross our fingers. We're going to give it a shot. Are you guys ready to get some heat? Hi, Whoopie. Hi, May May. First trip to the Lowe's complete in this project. We had to get a better hole making saw thingy. I don't know. It's got a speed slot, so it's got to be good, right? And we have a hole in the floor. A couple modifications to the mounting plate that we have to make. We need to drill the holes a little bit bigger. I got an aftermarket plate for a Webasto, and they don't fit. So we got to drill out the mounting holes a little bit bigger. And just like that, easy peasy. Right, we've got her mounted. We've got a hole right there for the fuel pump. I'll patch that up, close that up later on. Now we got to cut a hole over there for the heat duct, and which is going to come out over here and then point in this direction. Hopefully that'll work. Worm laughs. He doesn't know if he's going to work. Is it going to work, Worm? Don't know. Boo, yeah! All right, we are now under the camper, and then we have to figure out where this pipe came out at. Oh, there it is right there. So we actually got to go right about in here is where the exhaust and everything is. So I'm going to cut this out here. And there we go. We got the inlet, the exhaust, and then the fuel line. So here's what I'm thinking. Mount that up there. Then we have the exhaust coming out, running along to the muffler down there. Day 6,422 on the diesel heater install. Here it comes. There you go. Beautiful. What that box is for, my brilliant sister decided that we should put the fuel pump up in a box because it is right behind the back tire, so rocks and so on and so forth and water doesn't get up there and ruin it. And that's what we just did, is mount that box to the I-beam. The fuel line, or the fuel tank, is behind the spare tire. The fuel line's going to come around. I'm going to bring it all up on this side of the propane tank into where the fuel pump's going to go. Fuel pump's going to come out, go up into there, and I'm starting to kind of reseal that back up there so it doesn't get wet. What we're looking at is going to be something like that. So we have the line coming in from the tank here, going through the pump, going out, and then going to the heater. Now I got to put some fuel in the tank and get it to run through all of this line. Good afternoon, everyone. I am still working on the diesel heater install here. As you saw in the last video, ran the line all from back over there where behind the spare tire is, came all the way up into the bottom of the diesel heater. And if you are noticing, that line is no longer there. And that is because this harder plastic, but the diameter of it is really, really tiny. So when I originally hooked it all up, fired it up, it was still a little warm here. It was probably in the, I want to say 50s, something like that. So on the first night it ran on the low setting, did okay, kept the temperature I think around 73, 74. And then a cold front came through and it was running. I was working during the day and I noticed that it wasn't really blowing out a lot of hot air. It was kind of like lukewarm, and I thought to myself, that just doesn't seem right. And that night it got really cold and it flamed out in the middle of the night. I woke up at like 2:30. I think it was like 2:30 in the morning, and it was 44 degrees in the camper. I thought I was going to die. So I got up. It had the E08 error on it, which I guess is a lack of fuel. So I restarted it. It turned back on, but the temperature of it was only getting to about 108 degrees Celsius. It really wasn't getting up to temperature. The diesel heater itself has a little thermometer or thermistor on the actual heating unit itself, and it tells you how hot it is. Before, it used to get up to about 150 degrees Celsius on high, and with this little line here, it was really only getting to about 100, I think 112 was the most I saw it. So I actually thought that the pump was failing because it just kept turning off. So I actually ordered another pump that'll be here tomorrow. I tried to cancel it, but Amazon said I can't. But that should be okay. From what I understand, these diesel pumps sometimes go bad, so always good to have a backup, right? So how I figured out that it was basically a fuel starvation problem, I put my investigative hat on. I disconnected the fuel tank, brought it over here and set it next to the tire, and then ran all new fuel line. Well, not new fuel line, it was the old fuel line that I had, but ran the old fuel line from the tank sitting here to the fuel pump and the heater, and I did that for 2 days and it worked fine. Didn't flame out, no problem whatsoever. Tried to find some more fuel line, which I did. I thought this would be it, but it too is too narrow and I just didn't want to deal with it again. I'm running out of time. I'm only here for another week. Today's Saturday, and I head back to Florida next Saturday. And I have to get this cleaned up because after, I think tomorrow afternoon, it's going to start raining. And it's going to rain every day until I leave on Saturday. So I had to get the underside here buttoned up so that way I could travel. So here's what I did. Let me take you in and show you. There's my helper. There's my helper. Where's my other helper? She's in there, laying down. Don't mind the mess in here. I've got stuff everywhere. Say hi, worm. So here is what I really want to do. This tank is the one that came with it. It's too tall to fit under here, so I just kind of have it on its side right now. But what I want to do is I want to put one of those marine fuel tanks for the boat, like 1 or 2 gallon one. I took measurements of it. It should fit. I could not find one when I was up here running around today. It is winter, so there's not really a lot of boat stuff out. Mounted the thermostat on the wall. I'm gonna put all those wires and run them down so you can't see them. So let me show you underneath how I have that all kind of cleaned up, or at least as cleaned up as it's gonna be. Exhaust has not changed. The exhaust comes out. We do have those hose clamped in, and I did screw them through the bottom of the skirting here. I'm gonna get some plastic caps to put on those so the dogs don't run underneath it and stab themselves. That still goes all the way back with the muffler there. The muffler I will take off for travel day. We did mount the fuel pump in this metal box right here that's attached directly to the I-beam of the camper. You can see the fuel pump there. This is the inlet, and the out is on the upside. So it is at a angle, like a 45-degree angle, which is what these things are supposed to be. And then I zip tied the fuel lines over onto the propane line. There is your inlet for your air, which is affixed right here. Gonna get a little cap for this, or I might Dremel them off. I haven't decided yet. And then the exhaust. And then I foil taped everything back up under here to the best of my ability so that there's no wood showing. I sprayed everything with the Rust-Oleum High Heat Ultra. This has heat resistance up to 1200 degrees Fahrenheit, is what it says on the bottle. I know this tape is not going to stay on here. I don't intend this to be a permanent solution. This is mainly so I can get back to Florida and I don't get water up into the underbelly or on the wood. If you guys have any ideas, or if you know of like a high heat resistant tape or something like that, drop me a comment below. Let me know the name of it, please. I would appreciate it. Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody's having a great start to your day. Well, the diesel heater has been running now for well over 24 hours, and I wanted to give you all an update on how well it's working. Currently, I had it running full on. It got up to about 90 in here, so got it down to setting 2, which you can see here by those 2 little bars there. Let me make this a little bit brighter. By those 2 little bars right there, that's on setting 2. On full high, it gets way too hot in here. Currently, the outside temperature is 26 degrees Fahrenheit. That is all frost. And the inside temperature is a nice 71 degrees Fahrenheit. I did not have any issues with pipes freezing so far. What I do to help the pipes from not freezing is I open up the cabinet door at night, just so we can get some warm air under the sink, so hopefully the pipes won't freeze. And so far, it's been working. You can see the dogs are very comfortable. Mr. Rupert's all nice and cuddly. So yeah, I just wanted to give you an update on how the diesel heater worked after the full install. When everything is where it needs to be, thumbs up for it. If you guys were thinking about putting a diesel heater in, I would say go ahead and do it. It's well worth it. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to my dear sister Brenda for helping me with this heater install. Well, really, she did it all. I just kind of pointed the camera at her and said, can you redo that so I can get a better shot? Thank you, dear Brenda, for your help. Drinks on me. Well, gang, I think that's going to do it for this video. I'll use this diesel heater over the winter and then maybe give you guys an update on how well that it's worked out for me. I do have a couple more trips planned in the winter where it's going to be cool, so I'm hoping that I'll get some use out of it. The sun is setting, and after all this hard work, I think I've earned myself an adult beverage. This here is Taft's Santa's Bribe Christmas Cookie ale. My sister told me to try it, so I'm giving it a try. Not sponsored, bought this with my own money. Cheers, y'all. If you like this content, go ahead and hit that like button, because let's face it, the only thing that really matters in life is the number of likes that you get on social media. Subscribe if you want to see more of Rupert and May. And until next time, guys, safe travels. I'll see you next time. Stay tuned for all of you people. Shit. I wanted to put it into, or put, my brilliant sister. Woohoo! It's Taft. This here